Hi there, it's Chris Perkins, broker-owner with HaliPad Real Estate Inc.
And Adam Scott, licensed agent with HaliPad Real Estate Inc.
Adam and I are going to chat a bit today about something which has been on many people's minds over the last couple of weeks. It's now been brought into law, but the deed transfer tax and the tax implications in general for non-residents of Nova Scotia. Yeah, as of Friday night, this has been passed into law so that anybody that is not a permanent resident of Nova Scotia is going to have to pay an extra 5% deed transfer tax, plus their property taxes are they're about to triple, essentially, is what it works out to be. So what do you think about that, Adam?
Well, I mean, if I'm being honest, I can confidently say that 99% of my business from out of province are from people who are moving to the province. And I think that's what the government of Nova Scotia is trying to get at here. It's that they want you to move and live here and not necessarily recreational here.
Yeah, it's seasonal, right?
Seasonal, yeah.
And that's kind of, I feel like this is going to have the biggest impact on those seasonal, areas, mm-hmm. Cape Breton, Lunenburg, your Chesters and all of these places. But I don't see it having a huge effect in the city.
No, I don't either.
Yeah. And once this news came around, I went through my entire client list over the last 5 years, and I had just a handful of people it did affect, and there's certainly ways around it as well. But even people, I spoke to somebody that owns a condo here, and they plan to be here 6 months of the year. And even with property taxes tripling, they were saying to me that, it's still comparable to what they're paying in Ontario for their property. So it wasn't as big a deal to them as, perhaps mm-hmm. the media has made it out to be.
Yeah, it's definitely going to hit seasonal ownership here. Outside of the city, definitely not inside of the city. I don't know, maybe we'll see some more cottages pop up on the market in the coming months for people who don't want to pay that additional tax. But I don't actually see it, the bigger question to some of this is whether or not it's actually going to work to cool the market. And I don't see that as the case because, like I said, there's most of my buyers who are out of province, they're all moving here. They want to live here. Nova Scotia is a great province to live, work, and play in. And that's the whole goal here, especially with the provincial government. They want to get as many people into the province, either through immigration or migration, over the next, how many years? I can't remember now. But it's a goal of the province to increase the population here. And, we want you here. We just want you to live here. And we want you to play here and work here. Yeah.
I think you touched on a good point there, though, about how the government is doing this to alleviate housing pressure in Nova Scotia. But the types of properties that this is going to affect the most, if it's $1 million house on the lake, that doesn't
right.
It doesn't solve the problem for first-time homebuyers and young families because they aren't the ones purchasing that type of property anyway. No. So supply is the problem still.
Supply.
So if they're going to use this extra income from this tax to generate more supply somehow, then maybe. But I think it misses the mark, to be honest.
Yeah, I do too. Like I said, I've had this conversation with a few colleagues and friends over the past couple of weeks, and they've all mentioned that, is this going to cool the market? And I said, no, I really don't think it's going to cool the market. It's not designed to alleviate the pressure on the market, which is inventory and demand. And as long as we don't have any inventory and we have high demand, the market price is going to continue to trend up, mm-hmm. in my opinion. So, yeah.
And so I guess to anybody watching who is from out of province, how is the tax avoidable? You have to move here within 6 months once you purchase property, and then you avoid the 5% deed transfer tax. There's still a 1.5% deed transfer tax, but that's applicable to everybody who purchases a home in Nova Scotia. And then your property taxes, your annual property tax, that can be avoided if more than 50% of the owners are from Nova Scotia or live in Nova Scotia, or if you rent to a Nova Scotia resident for a minimum mm-hmm. of 12 months, or if it's 4 or more units, right?
I think it's 4,
three or more? 3 or more units?
I'm not sure. I have to look that up.
I think it's
look that
more
up,
than
everybody.
3. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's more than 3, so 4 or more units. I
Yeah.
don't know how they worded it, but they would be exempt.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can still own property here if you're living elsewhere, and there are ways around it if you're considering renting it out, like Chris said.
And the other side of it too, like we have some of the highest income tax, I believe, in Canada. So if you're living in a province with a lower income tax, I would suggest that maybe your increase in property tax is still going to be less than you'd pay in income tax. So, you know, I think what we've heard...
You just had a case of that too, though. Didn't you just have that conversation with somebody about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like my dad's going to retire here in the next year, so he's going to pay high property tax for a year, but he's probably going to pay, you know, less overall. So again, I don't think it's as big of a problem as people have made out. And, you know, I'm hearing stories about how people are saying that, well, non-residents of Nova Scotia saying that Nova Scotians don't want us. They obviously don't want people from the rest of Canada. And I don't think that's the case. You touched on this earlier.
Yep.
We absolutely want you, but live here as well. Be part of our communities. Don't just drop in for 6 months a year and leave, you know? So come live in Nova Scotia, everyone.
Yeah. Come live, come play. This is, what's our motto here again? Sorry.
Oh, you should have...
Canada's Atlantic Playground, right? Is that what's on our license plates?
Ocean Playground.
It is Ocean Playground. Yeah, that's right.
Where are you from? He is a Nova Scotia resident, everyone, just so...
Have been for 10 years.
Yeah. So moving forward, we're going to have more of these conversations. So if you have any questions about the market in general that you'd like for us to chat about, we'd love to do that. So drop us a line, subscribe, let us know in the comments.